Hello guys, today let's discuss a very interesting topic, that is the pivot table in T-SQL. First, let's see what is pivot table. Here I have a data file. It's a CSV file and can be easily opened in Excel. In this file, we have 3 columns of data. The first column is a salesperson ID, and the second column is a subtotal of a order, and the third column is the year when this record was generated. Now I have an idea. I want to check for each salesperson how much money they made in each year. How to do that? Then we need a pivot table. And actually in Excel and in T-SQL, the idea of pivot table are identical. So first, I select any cell in this data area and then press Ctrl plus G and then click Special. Now I want to select all the data area. So I click this current region and click OK. Now the region has data is selected. And then I press Insert and Pivot Table. OK. Because I want to see the sum of the subtotal, the first step is I drag the subtotal to the value panel. Then there is a sum of the subtotal. That's all the salesperson sold in all years. And then I want to check for each salesperson. Now I can see for each salesperson how much money they made in these years, in all these years. And then I separate the years. So I drag the years into the columns panel. Now I get the result. Now let's see how to create a pivot table in T-SQL. Please remember, if you want to create a pivot table in T-SQL, you just select twice. Why do we select twice? The first select is help us to get the raw data, or say the source data. And the second select is to pivot the data. Okay, let's see. The first select, we generate the source data. Select, let's say start from the sales.sales order header. Okay, the columns in the raw data is the sales person ID and the subtotal and the year of the, let's see, due date. Okay, this is a first select. And actually it generated the raw data as same as we see in the CSV file. And since this column doesn't have column name, we give a alias as year. Okay, now we get the raw data. Next step, we use the second select to generate a pivot table. Okay, we cut this one, say select star from. Okay, give a pair of parentheses, put the raw data here, and give a alias of this table as raw data. And click OK. We still see the raw data here. Next, pivot. Give a pair of parentheses. Okay, what the data we want to see? The sum of the subtotal. And for what? For the year in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. And then give an alias for the pivot table at the pivot table. Please note, the alias of the raw data and the alias of the pivot table are required. So let's see. Execute. We got the pivot table here. And if we want to sort the pivot table by the salesperson ID, and you can add a order by salesperson ID. Done. It's the same result as the result in Excel. Now, congratulations, you already know the pivot table both in Excel and T-SQL.